bring it in. Let's bring up our volume. You hear us? You got Wayne and Shane. And let's get started. Here we go. Welcome again to another live stream. We're calling this the UH Football Fan Stream because this is all about fans. It's all about our perspective. It's all about what we see from the stands, what we see in our living rooms, what we see when we talk to our friends. And today I got one of my best UH fan friends, of course, the one and only Lao Head. And, Shane, just talk about, the excitement building. We actually have a live event tomorrow. That's the NFL draft. And I know you're a big NFL guy, and you're also obviously a big UH guy. So just tell me, what's all your feelings? What are you feeling less than 24 hours away from the draft?
Less than 24 hours. Well, to be honest, I've never been a big draft guy, like I know a lot of people out there are. Because what looks good on paper necessarily doesn't translate onto the field, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, for example, probably the GOAT, which I hate to say, Tom Brady, is their 6th round pick and becomes like the greatest NFL player of all time. It's things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And even when I get to I want to compare it to recruits as far as UH football goes. And remember we had Leon Wright Jackson?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And everybody was like, oh, this guy's going to be the greatest guy ever. And it was like, oh, he wasn't so great.
And it's like you said, it's not an exact science. Some of you might have saw me. I know you were watching me on the Sleep Times Over show. We're going to shout out Aaron Sakai right now. But Aaron and I, we got to talk a little bit about the draft and tomorrow, what we expect. But one thing we always say is it's not an exact science. It's not, you're just trying to play the percentages. You really could sometimes pick a name out of the hat for some of these owners at the rate at which they pick players that actually have a positive impact on their roster or for the rest of, how long their careers are. So like you said, you don't even know. But it is exciting because it's live, and we'll probably have a few references to some of our own Rainbow Warriors. And no, we're excited about the guys that we got, and we talked about them a little bit last week on our Seahawks live stream and our Raiders. We talked about, that's, of course, our quarterback, Cole McDonald. We're going to start with him. And Cole McDonald, you mentioned a name, Tom Brady. And that's a guy that, his draft story is very is legendary as well because he was holding out until the very end when the Patriots finally took him, and the rest is history, obviously. But what do you see in terms of Cole McDonald? Where do you see him going, and what do you see? What do you maybe some destinations that you think that he'd fit in well?
Well, I know he had mentioned earlier that the team that was putting the hardest push to get him as far as contact wise was the Eagles. He's been getting a lot of contact from Philly. But like you mentioned, it's not an exact science. So I've seen mock drafts where even Seahawks pick him up in the 6th round.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, you're a Seahawks guy. Talk about that. You want to see him? You want to see him on your team?
I would love to see him on our team. So him and Ursula already got that, got that click, got that little bond action going already. So we'll see, but I know it's gonna be a long road for him. He's gonna have a lot to prove, even though he had the top results in the combine, which made him his draft stock even better. I'm just worried about consistency because we all watched him play, and he had some inconsistent games from time to time, but when that guy is on, that guy is on.
He is, and that's the thing. A lot of NFL teams would love to have a guy of his caliber that can turn it on and is still young, still impressionable, still somebody that has time to learn things and time to strengthen his body. Even it's a guy with a solid 6'3", somebody that went to the combine and got measured at that. So it's not the old, I just tell my SID what for put on the roster because I like to be taller, but he actually is a solid 6'3", and that is it's a big thing for the NFL, obviously. But thinking about Cole and his intangibles and stuff that we can't, put on paper. We can't talk about his stats, and we can talk about stats, but what do the stats mean when it comes to Cole McDonald? Every quarterback is different, obviously. We look at guys who have put up numbers in college, and sometimes it doesn't translate to NFL. But for Cole, we know as him as a leader, a true leader, somebody that puts the team on his back, somebody that knows how to corral the guys and get them to get into the next gear. Similar to Tim Tebow. I don't want to, I think it's a different trajectory of Tim Tebow, but they are similar in a lot of ways. I'm not using that name as, I mean, he won the Heisman Trophy. It's Tim Tebow. But, when people think about his NFL career, we don't always think about his playoff victory, which is kind of a big deal. But also the fact that he's a big guy that probably could be used in a lot of ways on the field as well. And he got some slack for maybe not wanting to jump into H-back or something, and that's his choice. He's the player. But what do you think? I see that as a possibility for Cole, something like a Taysom Hill, what he's doing at New Orleans. But what are your thoughts that way for Cole, the next level?
For to play multiple.
Yeah, play multiple positions.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, he has the speed. I could see him going out for some routes, because I mean, for him to have the fastest time in the combine, if you were to, if anybody was to ask you, hey, Cole McDonald, do you think he can get the fastest time out of all these QBs here? You'd be like, no way.
Yeah, totally agree.
But he did, and that's showing that he has the athleticism, he has the talent, and like you mentioned before, I think he has the right mindset too. He's a good leader.
Mm-hmm.
When on camera, he says the right things. And he went through a lot of rough patches.
He did. Yeah.
Being benched for Chevin, but he didn't have a bad attitude about it. He didn't grumble. It drove him to work harder. And in the NFL, that's what you need, man. When you're on that next level, it's a whole new ball game, and you have to have that mentality. You have to not only be physically strong, but of course you have to be mentally strong. And I believe he has those qualities that can take him to the next level. And even he was on that face-to-face on the Hawai'i Athletics.
Mm-hmm.
And she asked him about cutting his hair, and he said, well, he hated to do it because, him and his hair.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
He felt that he needed to look professional, because this is business.
Mm-hmm.
And a good quote from him, he said that your opportunities don't grow, but your hair will grow.
That's right.
Oh, hey, good one.
And I totally agree. I mean, it took maturity. It took a lot of honesty with himself to be able to say, hey, I can't go to the next level looking like this. Maybe I leave that college behind. And let's be honest as well. We're gonna keep it real. It's a fan show. Dreadlocks is not easy to pull off in the NFL for certain people.
Exactly.
And he knew that. He was smart enough to know that going in, and he was professional enough to realize that his opportunities as a professional could be limited by something like his hair, which hair to some people is very sacred, and it is a thing. So I don't think it's just easy for anybody to cut their hair. But if he knew that this is something that was a part of his college self, he's going to leave that behind. Good memories for us, remembering that those locks coming out of his helmet, and that's what we remember as UH fans is quarterback Cole McDonald and just his leadership on the field, and all of those things off the field as well is what makes Cole special. But I want to get into some of the other guys. We got some of our receivers as well, and talk about how you feel about those guys too.
Oh, well, Bird and Ward. I mean, the only thing they got, I've been doing a lot of reading up on them, and the only drawback they got is the size, because we all know they got the speed, and their route running is there. I was just watching both of their highlight videos from last season, and Bird, Ward, he burns these guys, man. He gets separation, and but honestly, I don't see them being picked hopefully they can pull like an Ursua and maybe get picked up in the last round or so. But I think they'll get their shot at a free agent contract.
And I agree with that as well. I think, being drafted is a difficult thing to do, period,
Yeah,
anyways. But to get a free agent
yeah,
contract is pretty great. I mean, you get
yeah,
to choose really the team you want to go to if you got four teams calling you. And I
exactly.
mean, we know that's what happened with John, with Seattle, right? Seattle had to jump back into the draft to get Ursua last year because they were
Yeah,
out. And, John was thinking, well, I have all these offers. I'll be fine. But Pete Carroll was like, no, I want this guy. I'm going to get back in there. They already took down all the monitors, maybe ready to pack up and go home. But to see John's name still up there and to have a desire to go and get him by getting back in the draft is something that the Seahawks did. And, hopefully we see that same excitement and enthusiasm for our UH recruits and not just our recruits, our NFL recruits. But it's funny, it's the next level. You remember these guys as recruits, as high school kids coming
exactly.
in, and it's like immediately they're already in the blink of an eye. And these seniors, all of them, all of these NFL prospects have left such a indelible mark on the program, and we just wish them the best of luck. We'll be listening tomorrow, first round of the
Exactly.
NFL draft, 8 Eastern, 2 o'clock in Hawaii. And that's where we're going to start our Hawaii Sports Fans NFL draft stream. So I want everybody to know if you want to, just get some chatter. I'm going to try and bring on my friend Lalo Head here as well. Bring on some others, and we'll talk draft. We'll watch it go, the draft order go down, and we'll talk about each pick as it comes in, and we'll have a little bit of a chat too. So tomorrow, we'll see where that one goes too. So 2 Eastern. But back till today, Shane, when you go back and you think about the NFL draft, and I know you said you're not a big draft guy, but it's always a story in Hawaii because kids even kids choose programs based on likelihood of getting drafted as well. Let's
Hmm.
be honest, a lot of the recruits do that. So it is important. It is important for our program to get numbers, maybe in a way, right? To show like, hey, we can still send people to the draft, and players look at that. So um, in your time though, when we think about the draft and snubs and surprises, what surprises or snubs do you come to mind for you for our
Well, that's pretty easy for me because on the top of my head, I'd have to go with Ikaika Alama Francis in '07
mm, mm-hmm.
because he didn't even play football.
Yeah.
He went to UH to play basketball, and after his first season on the court, he decided to go and play football, and that was the first time he ever played, and to be a second round pick.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And like, oh,
Yeah.
I was like amazed. Nobody.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't think he would be drafted that high. That was amazing. Yeah. So that would be my number
We're
one
talking a guy
surprise.
like Ikaika Lama Francis too, right? A guy that didn't play sports and makes us think, or a guy that didn't play football at first, playing basketball. And you think about another guy who didn't even get a scholarship, walked on from a high school that's the closest high school you can get basically to Aloha Stadium, and
Yeah.
ends up in the first round getting chosen by the
Wow.
Broncos. I mean, that's got to be one of the biggest surprises. He was on the field. Ashley Lely, of course, we're referring to, one of the great receivers of our time and at University of Hawaii. But Ashley Lely, he was on the field. I got to hang out with him at the Fresno game. But those guys walked around and you saw NFL bodies, you saw NFL athleticism, you saw NFL, especially Ikaika. Ikaika's a big guy. He's
Oh
a big
yeah.
basketball player, and then he's a big guy with those pads on too, even bigger. But those, like you said, we don't know what's gonna happen. You can get into NFL. You could last 1 year. You could last through training camp. You could last the first 2 weeks of training camp. Uh, we'd love to watch. I know you're probably love to watch Hard Knocks as well on HBO, and you see how it's a challenge. Even if you get drafted, even if you get signed to a roster, then you got to make the team. It's like being in high
Yep.
school or something all over again, and this time you're not even one of the best. Usually, if you're drafted low or you're a free agent, you're battling with veterans. So, that's something that we're gonna look forward to in the coming hours, really, this draft. But in the coming days, we'll probably likely, like what you're saying, and I agree with you, we'll probably see Cole and the other receivers if they get drafted as well, probably on day 2 or day 3. But Cole McDonald, lots of upside. I see him possibly going to Patriots. Somebody that is refilling at that position. But I mean, a team that is in a position to start over really, but they're very careful and they don't like to spend a lot of money too, right? Belichick is pretty careful about how he makes his transactions, player deals. So if they can get Cole, I feel like maybe late, or they have a pick, or some people feel like he could challenge for their quarterback position. I think that would be where we see Cole McDonald. But what team? I mean, obviously you want him at the Seahawks, but if you could pick a team where you say like Cole McDonald could probably start right now, what would you say? Start. Gee.
Oh, gosh, that's
Hey, if Gardner Minshew can start in the NFL, Cole McDonald can start in the NFL. Sorry, Washington State people, but Cole McDonald can do what Gardner Minshew can do. That's for sure. But we never know. We never know what is gonna happen tomorrow. We don't know what's gonna happen in a few months. We don't even know when the first game is gonna be played, for sure yet. So lots of, lots of time that we have to spend to ourselves thinking about the next game, but also for these players, that's for them too, thinking about when am I gonna play next? How am I gonna even see my teammates? How am I gonna work out? So big changes. And what do you think about this too? What do you think about the draft still even going on, knowing that it's going to be online only?
That is good. I mean, everyone's looking forward to this draft. I mean, especially now since there's no sports,
Mm-hmm.
But even though I'm not a big draft guy, there's all my friends are huge draft guys.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was in Vegas one year when there was a draft, and ESPN Zone was crazy. Just people in all their jerseys.
Yeah, they're on jerseys. It's like being at a regular game. It's like it's like seeing your team play or something when you're at the draft. So it'd be cool to go to one day, maybe a live draft and sit there. And
definitely.
It would have been cool in Vegas this year, huh?
Last year's one was in Tennessee.
Yep.
That way, yeah, and then the Nashville fans, it looked like a fun place to be. Man.
Looked like a great place.
Yeah.
Well, as we talk about the draft, we also are going to talk about UH football still, because this is the UH football fan stream. So I'm going to get us back to talking pure UH football. We're going to talk about how we have a new stadium coming. We're going to talk about how we have some financial issues coming. We're going to talk about all the big stuff. It's the hot seat. So stick around. We're going to go to a commercial break for very briefly. And then I'm going to bring back my crew. And we're going to have our little Around the Wayne. So Around the Horn on ESPN? Well, we're going to give you Around the Wayne. So... but we're going to go back. I'm going to go back to a little commercial and get everybody back. All right. So stick around, Shane. You're on this panel. Bring him back. Here we go. Let's see. Okay, I gotta get my head right in the middle, because if it's around the Wayne's gotta be right in the middle. There we go. So you gotta get my head in the middle so I can ask the right questions right from the middle. All right, so we got. Let's gonna start. We got our 4-person panel. Can you hear a little bit of the background music? We want to make this a little bit fun and upbeat a little bit. So we talked about Hawaii football players in the draft, but we're gonna go to our first question because, well, first of all, I need to welcome you folks because you are in the around the Wayne. So I want this to be like the opening. Tony Reali comes out. Like I can't even get my head. Wayne can't even get his head in the middle. And Tony Reali, you know, we see on ESPN. He goes around and he talks about everybody in the room. So we're gonna start up this way, I guess, on my top. And I got Dara Young up there. Dara, give us a shout out. Talk about it. Aloha. And we're gonna say, Dara, talk about us. We're great friends. That's all anybody needs to know. But talk about your UH football fandom and your UH sports fandom overall. Period.
Just from when I was a young child, I actually liked Alex Malloy.
Ah.
When I was 4 years old. So I mean, we are going back. So yeah.
Well, you know, Dara, you're also one of those people I see on the road a lot, and you're also one of those people I see in the front rows a lot, and you have a lot of great UH football stories, and your beat BYU flag at the game that you had on your was probably one of my favorite things of yours that I got to see. But Dara, we're gonna start with you. We're gonna start with you, but we're gonna get everybody introduce themselves first. Maybe we already know Shane, but right below Dara, you have Josie coming in from Northern California. Talk about it, Josie.
Hey, what's going on?
Where are you coming from? Where exactly are you, Josie?
I'm in Santa Clara, home of the 49ers. Choo! Yes, that's right. Yeah, I see you, Seattle, but that's okay.
And
I've been a UH fan since the early 2000s. You know, being from the Philippines, we don't have a football team, so I kind of just hopped over and supported the next island over. Gotta stay faithful to my brothers and sisters, you know.
I love it. And Josie, another one of the Road Warriors. We see her a lot on the road with Candy, one of her good buddies, and that's, you know, they've become our travel family. For Fuchsia, Kelly, and all of us, you know, seeing them is wonderful, and hearing their stories, hearing from where other UH fans came from is also amazing. So Josie, all the way from the PI, joining us via San Jose, but we're going to go to the other side. We're going to go to the other Sean. You know him because you listen to our Seahawks live stream, I'm sure. So Sean Iman, let's talk about it. What's going on, bro?
Hey, what's up, Dwayne? Thanks for having me back.
Sean, talk about your UH fan. You said you were a little baby just like me, a little squirt running around the stadium, and what was that like for you?
My dad would bounce me on his lap. You know, I grew up watching football, and it was like a gateway drug. You know, I watched football, and then it led to basketball, which led to volleyball.
That's right, and UH, it's our home team. They're the team for everyone. And some of us grow up, we are football fans, obviously, but we're going to start today. Our first question is going to be about a general UH thing. So you see, if you can see at home, we got a scoreboard on the bottom. It's hard to see the names, but we got a little scoreboard. We're going to have a little fun with the point system, and it's totally subjective and whatever I feel like giving. So whatever. But let's make it happen. Let's start with Dara. You're going to be the first to answer. What is your top UH sports moment of 2019-2020? And I'm going to keep a little clock on my side. So just share what you feel and share why you feel that way as well.
It has to be the men's volleyball team of 2019 and 20 as well. To be able to compete for a national championship in this day and age, no matter what sport it is a huge deal. I mean, to be able to, they lost the championship game, but they had to play Long Beach, come back and win the conference championship, then go back to Long Beach and face them again on their home court for the national championship. That's just huge. And then, of course, this year, the last game we ever saw, actually baseball played. So,
well, so this year, you're going to pick this year. So we're going to say this season. So 2020 men's volleyball season. So you have to pick from that. So if you're going to pick that one, you're going to go with the last game you said, right?
Yes.
Last game. All right, Shane. What about you, Shane? What you got to say? Can you hear me, Shane? Oh, Shane's muted himself. Oh, see? Yeah, that's well, thankfully I can do negative points, so that's what Shane's gonna get for not having his mic on. So there we go, the first negative points in history when you come off a first segment and you turn your mic off. But Shane, I'll give you a chance for a comeback. What is your top moment right now in UH sports moment of 2019-2020?
Top moment for me gotta be the football game against San Diego State. I mean, to win that in order for a shot at Boise for the Mountain West Championship.
Ding.
I mean, I would have never thought in my wildest dreams that we would be playing for a Mountain West Championship. That will not last this season. But yeah, that would definitely have to be my top.
Good. That's a good one. All right. Sean, I'm going to let you take this one now, Sean.
All right, when Corey Bentley intercepted Wilson in the waning moments of the fourth quarter of the Hawai'i Bowl, it was pandemonium.
Woo.
I thought it was BYU, it was BYU, it was BYU.
Chicken skin, Sean. Chicken skin, Sean.
In the first half, and then it was squeeze in the second half, and we pulled it out the end. I almost fell out the loge. You know, I saw you there. I saw Shane there.
Yep.
It was awesome, you know, and to cap off a 10-win season, which don't come along too often.
No, not at all.
Great.
Exactly. What a huge
It was the cherry on the cake of this season.
cherry on the cake. I love that. I totally agree.
It was the best moment. It was the best thing. And there was a lot of great things that happened in UH and UH athletics this year.
Sean's right.
But that was the best.
Sean's right. There is a lot. And Sean can't. Oh, Dara pulled out the towel. And I have to give her a point just for pulling the towel out. All right, Josie. We need your top moment. What's your top moment, Josie?
You know, for me, actually, I mean, those were all the moments mentioned were all great moments. But for me personally, I like the game at Reno. We came pretty deep. We did. We came pretty deep at Reno. But the turning moment for me in Reno was, you know, it was their homecoming and they had a big crowd and you know how the other teams get when you're traveling and it's their home stadium. They get cocky. But it started getting cold. It was raining and it was snowing and they all left.
Yeah.
We stood strong. The island people in our slippers.
That's right.
And hugged the boys, supported them. You know, they played a great game. We blew them out. That was a great moment.
I love that. You know, and that was a great day for me too. It's my 50th game, and Josie and Candy got me the best cake ever, rainbow cake. So rainbow cake for the 50th, plus we got to celebrate a 54-3 win. That's a good one. I like that one too. So everybody got some good ones. All right, we got a game going here. So Shane, you get to get the next question. So let me bring up the next question right now.
Wait.
Yes.
People saying the audio is too soft and
Too
the
soft.
music's too loud.
Okay.
They cannot hear.
Okay, good. Good to know. I'll turn the music off now.
Okay.
Thank you so much for the feedback, guys. Doing a bunch of new stuff. We're just gonna maybe a little bit, a tiny bit of music, maybe like a little bit.
They just said the music was a little too loud. They couldn't hear
Okay.
everyone talking.
We're gonna put it about there now then. I don't want to make it blast them off, but yeah. All right, thanks guys for listening. Sorry if it's a little bit. We got a lot of audio coming in, 5 different voices, and using the wonderful technology of Zoom and everything else. So let's keep it going with our second question, and this is one that's on all of our minds, obviously. Will there be college football this coming year? And we're gonna start with Shane. Got the first word, Shane.
Will there be college football? Well, like we discussed earlier, I have to speak it into existence. Yes, there will be college football. But as the days go on, the possibility of not having a season becomes more and more real. The Star Advertiser said that they're giving us to the beginning of July to make a decision if there's going to be football or not. because teams need at least 4 to 6 weeks just to prepare. And because Hawaii is week 0, July, that's about what? It's about 8 weeks just for us to prepare.
Yeah, that's true.
So with a new team, with a new coach, it's I gotta go 50-50 right now, but right now it's looking pretty grim.
Okay, so Shane took a 50-50 approach. What about you, Sean? What are you saying, Sean?
As far as the calendar year, I can't see it happening because first they need to be enrolled in school, close contact. I think if anything, we're looking at like maybe the spring, early, the season getting pushed back into 2021, and then playing non-traditional in the spring.
Yeah, so we still play a season. March. We still fit it in the academic year, but we just put it in the next semester instead of the first semester.
Right, and I think it could be even a shortened season because of it. You might have like a 10-game season instead of 13.
Yeah, I definitely see that. Great points. Great points, Sean. All right, Josie, it's up to you, though. What do you think, Josie? If somebody's like, Josie, are we going to have a year or not?
I'm hoping, not that I like to agree with the Seattle fan, but I'm hoping this, I'm hoping that...
Bing, bing!
I'm hoping the season gets pushed back in the sense that they follow in line with the NFL. NFL right now is talking about, we're not going to have football until November. And even though, our games are supposed to be starting around August, I'm hoping that NCAA takes a look at that and follows suit and says, okay, yeah, let's not kill the season, but let's push it back so that they still have a season. Because I'm okay with it getting pushed back as long as, we still have a season, not just for the fans, but for the players. My heart breaks for these kids that put all this time and energy since their youth, into the passion and something they love to do. And not just football, all of the sports are deeply affected by what's going on. And it's heartbreaking to, you look at your seasons, these seniors this year, this 2019 year, that their seasons were literally robbed and ripped from them. It's heartbreaking.
Well, you talk about that too. Yeah, we don't think about what the ramifications are for people that are on a deadline. I mean, you can't just stay the same age forever, and you kind of move on with your life, and that's a hard part. Pro athletes, they, even though it sucks to lose a year too, a lot of athletes have sat out. Peyton Manning sat out a year and then won a Super Bowl after. I mean, it's kind of more normal there, but for college kids, it's so heartbreaking. And I know Daryl would love to see her team on the field, but what do you got to say, Daryl?
Well, are we talking with fans in the stands or not?
I think just it's up to you. So it's your whatever you see in terms of UH football. Could be nothing, no fans, no football. Could be no fans. Could be pushed back.
I want to be there. I want to be screaming my head off. But I can't see it happening with fans in the stands. I mean, as it stands, we play 3 California teams in California. Well, that's currently on our schedule. And the California governor has already talked about not having big events. So until 2021. I mean, that takes out a lot of sporting events. Yeah.
It does, and that's true. I mean, right away, California, and you look at California being, one of the largest states, obviously one of the biggest economies in the world. We assume that other, sports will follow suit. They're not gonna just not play in California. I don't know what, that's not gonna happen. So yeah, the great points. All right, you're tightening up, guys. Everyone's starting to loosen up a little bit. We're gonna give Sean is gonna get the first chance at this one. Because this one is now, see, I make you sit on the hot seat. This is where we talk about the hot stuff. So a little bit caliente right here is that word going down in Boise, Idaho, is that their coaches are not going to get paid this month. And they're not allowed to work either. And in a way to cut money, Boise State has furloughed its coaches. What do you think UH should do? And we'll start with Sean.
So I think UH should approach the coaches about possibly taking a mandatory or a voluntary pay cut to begin. We just brought all these guys over here, the majority of the staff, and Hawaii's so expensive, the cost of living. Yeah. But at the same time, like 1/3 of the population of the state is unemployed right now. So it's not just them. So I think try to work with them, see if they will. Graham didn't work for 2 years. He made millions. Arizona State gave him millions.
It's true.
He hasn't been working the last couple of years. So I think there is a way, maybe not like tell them, but try to work with them. See if they're open to because I'm sure they're still working. There's so much tape and
I mean, the football coaches are not going to stop working. Yeah, the Boise coaches are not going to just stop. They're not going to just put their tapes away. That's not going to happen.
Stop it.
Yeah.
I try to work with them first.
Yeah.
That's what I
Great point. Josie, what about you, Josie? What do you say? I mean, what do they do? It doesn't mean that we have to furlough our coaches, but what do we do? Boise's going to go to that length, and that's Boise.
Well, I agree. These coaches got into coaching because it's a passion and it's what they want to do. They they put their heart and soul into this. They are able to make a career into something that they love to do. I just feel like we need to show support to our coaches. As Sean said, we just hired a lot of these guys and brought them on board and had them come to Hawaii. While it is a strain on the university, I would hope that they would, have an open dialogue conversation with these guys and, try to work something out, because at the end of it, we're all still family. We need to be, spreading aloha. That's our motto. That's
right.
Our state. We're the Hawaii.
That's right.
So we've got to be considerate and show love. If we can't show our love to our own people, what does that say about us?
That's right.
So I think that open dialogue needs to happen. Everybody needs to be understanding on both ends. And I would hope if they take any type of action in that situation, that this money that they're quote unquote saving, they're putting back into the program.
Yeah.
And that should be part of that, conversation is like, well, where, don't take the money and give it to the science department. Please take this money and put it back into the program, because we need recruitment. There's so much stuff we need. And if they're going to give up, it should go back to that.
Hey, Dara, what about you? What do you say? I mean, I know this is a hard one because none of us want to see coaches obviously not take money. We don't want to see anybody on our staff. But that's just the reality. I mean, teachers, if a third grade teacher is asked to take a 20% cut, on her own, maybe all of us are in that same boat where we have to look at ways that we can support the situation. But what do you think?
Yeah, I would agree. I would have to agree to go the voluntary route for all the coaches, not just football. I don't want to. More across the board would be even, and not fair, because I hate that F word, but it would be like solidarity. Like, we are all in this together.
Yeah, I love that. That's true. Shane, what about you, Shane? What do you say, Shane?
Yeah, I agree with that too. And especially now with everybody struggling because of this pandemic, and the coaching staff does make more than the general population. It would show a sign that that they really care about the community, and I truly believe if they work with the school to do something with their salary temporarily, I think it'll gain respect from the community, and maybe
good
they'll
point.
Be, hey, maybe we
good
should
point.
go to some.
Good
maybe
point.
We should go to some games, man. For the coaches,
good point.
They sacrifice for us. Now we go support them.
That's right.
And I think maybe it might be inevitable, because since Boise State did it, now they're going to be, how come Boise did it?
Yep.
You guys don't do it. You guys don't care about us like Boise cares about them.
Yeah.
You know how Hawaii is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
You bring out such a great point, and it's about and that following what everyone else is saying, the themes of solidarity, but solidarity amongst the academic community as well with the coaches could go a long way with the athletic community. And we already talked about how there's a little bit of a disconnect, given that some people feel that academics feel that resources should be siphoned right out of athletics already. So in this time, it's even more precarious, right? Where we're like, we're at a place where we might have to cut spending, period, anyways. So maybe this is a place where they can say, hey, we love UH, we love our team, we love our program, and we want to do what's best for the entire university. So great point. All right, so that's pretty good. You guys are doing a good job. Wow. So that's question 3. So we're gonna move on to question 4, and that's something that's fun that we've been talking about a lot lately, and that is the fact that we are getting a new stadium. And recently in the paper, they found out, or we know that bids are going out, contracts are being reviewed, and plans are being reviewed. So given that this time is a chance for bids to be submitted and all these designs will be coming through, another one of the tenants, which is capacity, obviously something that's really important, something we think about. The number that's been thrown around is 35,000. Currently we're at 50,000 Aloha Stadium. But 35,000 is not set in stone. So maybe we go back to 50. Maybe there's a design that makes 50. I doubt it, but now that we know that there's some leeway, what should the number be? And maybe you have some qualifications, like saying, I only want it to be this if there's this, or, you can talk about what other things you want to see in the stadium as well. So I think Josie is first on this one, right, Josie?
Oh, okay. I don't know if I have a specific number in mind. I know I wouldn't go lower than what I already have. I get that we haven't been filling the stadium, but I can't help thinking in my mind, it's like the Bible verse where it says you have to prepare for rain, right? Everybody prays for the rain, but then when the rain comes, nobody's standing there with an umbrella. If they want the people to, yes, we need to build a program, there's a lot of things that need to happen to fill the seats the way they used to be, but I'm not saying if, I'm saying when. When that time and moment comes, we want to have a stadium that can't fill everybody that wants to be there.
There you go. I mean, that's strong words, because the time will come back. It's been, Dara, since 2007, I believe, was our last sellout. I'm sure you were there. But what do you think about the capacity in the new stadium?
I think 35,000 is perfect. But what's important is the retail mix. I think it's going to be important to bring in different kinds of businesses to help out. Also, we really need to improve the experience there.
Yeah.
And I think having different experiences there will help with the family segment, with the, we have a lot of people who don't have families and who have money to spend. I mean, maybe it's a different kind of area for them too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think we need to really change it up and not do what we used to do.
Totally agree. And this is a chance, Shane, like you've been to stadiums in the mainland that are huge complexes, and you can go shopping there. Like Dara's saying, there is other ways to bring people down there. But at the end of the day, as football fans, we're thinking, how many people can I squeeze into the stadium? So is 35,000, is that what we want, Shane, or what do you think about that number?
Yeah, 35,000 is a good number for me too. 40,000, because when I look back at probably the best season in the entire football program's history was 2007, and we averaged about 43,000 fans a game. So, and we all know that since then our attendance has slowly been decreasing. I wouldn't want to go too small. I know some people are saying, 20,000, 25,000. Oh, but that's a little bit too small, especially if this is gonna be a multi-use venue. Right?
Yeah.
We had sellout for Bruno Mars.
Yeah.
We had the big turnout for the monster trucks, and so we can't just think of it as just for the football team.
Yeah.
This is a investment
for the entire community. Exactly.
Exactly. For the entire community. And like Dara said, it has to be. They have to improve the experience. So I would rather keep it small and use the extra money to get the better sound system, get the better seats, rather than we go make them big and just make them cheap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would rather have it small and concentrate on the quality, rather than go big and not be as good. So.
Yeah, Sean, what do you think, Sean? I mean, Shane's right. It's like, it's changed too. You can't just put seats in a stadium and call it a stadium now, right?
Wayne, like 30,000, 35,000, I don't care. Build the damn thing. We could build the damn thing. We've been talking about this for 5 years. We've got 3 designs. Pick one, build it already. Aloha Stadium's falling apart. Like, seriously, the thing's gonna collapse.
I know. If our friend Aaron is still listening, he's over there cheering you on right now for sure.
Build the damn thing. I don't care. 30,000, whatever. 35, expandable. You know, we'll have soccer. We'll have UFC. Just build it.
I love it. I love it. You know, like, it's time. It is time. Like we said, I mean, if you were there for the first, I got to, after my grandma passed away, I found her tickets from the Hawaiians. I think it was probably her first game that she went there, and that was, in 1975. So a long time ago, and it's clearly the game has changed, but also the way that stadiums are built have changed. I remember going to watch UH play Rice in 2014, I think it was, or 15, and Rice plays in a 75,000 seat stadium. They get about 4,000 people a game. So we don't want to look like that ever. Not that it would ever get that bad. But, I mean, they had a Super Bowl in that stadium before, which is crazy. But, like, you want to make it a home field advantage, right? You want it to be like, this is where we play. We're in our own confines. And, wherever they settle, whatever number, I agree with you, folks. It needs to have, Josie is a 49er season ticket holder. You see how you have the suite levels, you have the team shops that are nice. These are the things that people will come to when there's no game as well. They'll go to the team shop and they'll shop there to get UH clothes. Tourists will go there. Tourists will come. I'd like to see us using UH football as a driver. When I go to Japan, I want to watch baseball, which I do. I want to watch sumo. And I want to go to places that feel a part of their culture, especially the sports culture, which we're all, I mean, when I went to Australia, when we went to watch UH play, I went to a National Rugby League game. I'm making sure I'm going to go and do the sports things that I do for that country. So I think when people come to Hawaii, especially when they're from Asia or something, seeing a football game, that's so cool. And, like, how do we do it so people know, concierge or whatever, get those people to come just as an event? And the more that we make it an event, the more we make it fun, the more we make it a part of, Hawaii life and what is a part of our regimen as local people. Our routine is going to these UH games. Like Shane and I said, we wanted to go back to those days where every Saturday we're there. No question. It's just, or people know that it's top of mind in Hawaii. Oh, there's a game tonight, right? Yeah, there's a game tonight. Like, we're in Boise. Everybody knows. There's a game. Even if I don't watch football. So that's where we need to go, and then hopefully we can build from there. Because Josie is the most optimistic. She's saying those 50,000 people coming, okay? So you better be ready when the rain comes, when the deluge of fans comes out of the sky. You better have 50,000 seats in that stadium. So,
just UH football.
Yeah.
There's other events, and like Joe Coy did a show out there and sold out the stadium that he was in.
Mm-hmm.
He ended up
True.
having to add a show a second night. So
True.
It's more than just football. It's an event venue. So when you think about event venue, you have to, if you want to bring the revenue, you have to be able to house these
Exactly.
people.
Exactly.
I'm also an event planner,
Mm-hmm.
and when people are scouting and looking for locations,
Mm-hmm.
the first thing they off top, before they even make a phone call, they look and say, okay, who's going to fit the number of people I want to get?
Yeah.
Like, how many times has Pro Bowl been out there? But if
Yeah.
you guys demolish the stadium and get rid of the number of seating, NFL's no longer going to look at you guys for Pro Bowl
Mm-hmm.
because you
Mm-hmm.
can't
Coming
fit the
anyway.
number of people they're going to bring. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? There's just a lot of things to look at. Great points are made. Yes, you
Yeah.
want to be able to get the most bang out of your buck and stretch that dollar and have a quality product.
Uh-huh.
But quality product also means, are you going to have a product that's going to stand the test of time?
Ooh, good point. I like it. I mean, that's the thing in Hawaii. We need to build that excitement so that we can get those and get those people in the seats before even, we don't want to wait until we go to the BCS again or whatever. We need to do it right now and create that culture. Dara started us off, so I'm gonna let her get first crack at this one. And the rules for this special question is you can't copy anybody's answers. So be compelling with your reasons, okay? So here comes question 5 across this. Where is it? Oh my gosh, that's hilarious if I deleted it or something. Okay, so question 5. Let's see. Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. I must have deleted it out of my database, but I remember it because I'm a smart guy. So what the question is who is the best dressed UH coach in history? You can pick anybody. Dara, we're gonna start with you. Who is it?
Well, I probably Tommy.
Tommy. Okay, why Tommy? Why Tommy?
Well, he was always very presentable. He was always ready to go.
I love that.
Always very on, not frumpy, not a little too playful like other people.
Oh,
Sorry.
like other people. All right, Dara's got to go with Tommy. You can't pick Tommy, Shane. Who you got, Shane?
I'm going with Wagner because he always came out with the green palaka.
Oh, I like the
After I saw
palaka.
that, I was like, I like one green palaka, so I have to go find one green palaka. So it would
Okay.
have to be Wagner.
Yeah, I like that one. Sean, what do you got, Sean?
I hear what you guys are saying, but you guys are all wrong.
Woo!
It's Riley Wallace. Riley Wallace with his green jacket, the velour jacket
Yeah.
that he would throw.
That he would
Come
throw.
on.
That wouldn't even survive him.
And then his face would turn red. Oh, come on, it's Riley Wallace.
Oh, there you go.
Uh,
Josie, who you got, Josie? You got the last word, Josie.
You know, this is a horrible question. Because I don't go to watch the coaches. I go to watch the guys.
Exactly. This is the tiebreaker because this game has no rules anyway, so we make up any kind tiebreakers. It's just being compelling with your argument,
What was his name? I
Josie.
don't even remember his name. There was a shoot. Hang on. I'll tell you. What
Describe
his
him for us. Pictionary. Draw him on something, and we'll guess.
I'm not drawing him. He's actually the current basketball coach.
Oh, she's saying Iran Ganat. Ganat is the best goal.
Yeah.
Nice aloha shirt.
He does have nice aloha shirts.
Yes.
I'll
he
give
does
him
have
that.
Very nice aloha shirt. So
But
I'm
be-
gonna go with that one.
He go okay. So Riley Wallace is a choice for Sean, and I'm gonna agree with Riley Wallace because I had Riley Wallace in mine too. So Sean, you are today's ding 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 winner. So Sean, you got the floor for the next 30 seconds. Talk about what you wanna, First of all, thank you everybody for being here. But Sean, let us give us a shout out. Your 30 seconds. Go.
Well, what's up, Wayne? I listened to you on Aaron's podcast. Thanks again for having me on with your super fans. This was lots of fun. I had fun, looking up stuff last night and just making. We did a top 10 list of top 10 moments of the season, and there was 10, 15, 16 things that I had to go between. So my number 1 was BYU football. My number 2 was the BYU volleyball. I went to both events. It was awesome. There was so much good stuff that happened for UH this season. And it was awesome, albeit abbreviated, but it was an awesome sports calendar year, and I can't wait for the next one, whenever that is. So.
And also, I want you are also one of the people that have been really active online and in those message boards. So people see Sean in real life too. Go say hi to him. Dara, Josie, all 4 of the people around me I consider friends, and I'm super lucky to know all of them and have them tonight to contribute to this wonderful, fun little stream and game. So thank you all. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Shane, Dara, Josie. We'll see you all next week as well. So anybody else, we got Candy. If you're out there and you want to be on our 4-person, send us a private message. Get a hold of us. We'll see you next week, guys. Take care.
Behold the grasshoppers.
I think she should do it on camera. This is Wayne Coito, and here is your Hawaii Sports Fans Aloha Friday Flashback. It's back to one of our favorite places, the Emerald City. But this particular visit to Seattle's T-Mobile Park may have been the sweetest of them all. It's hard to find a better way to watch a baseball game, let alone any pro sport, than from a private suite with your closest family and friends. And with Hawaii sports fans, we take it to the next level. Because up here in the Great Pacific Northwest, it's all about that regional flavor. We made sure to include the fresh catch sushi, craft beer, local wine and spirits to go along with the burgers, dogs, and all the popcorn you can handle. But can your taste buds handle one of pro baseball's most, unique game day snacks? Even if deep-fried insects aren't quite your thing, there's so much to see and explore in one of the coolest venues you'll find in the U.S., where they even acknowledged us on the big screen. The Mariners and White Sox combined for 16 runs, lighting up the scoreboard just like the beautiful fireworks show that closed the night. This is exactly how we love to spend our Fridays. We checked the private suite off of our bucket list. What's next on yours? Join us at hisportsfans.com.